So some of the actors on this list said no in playing Neo in The Matrix. That means they rejected taking the red pill. Silly actors. Hello, my little nerd army, and welcome to Nerd News, a show that is created for nerds by a nerd. One nerd. There's only one of me in here. And today we are going to talk about one character, one role in a movie that shaped the way action movies are filmed today. That's right, the legendary Matrix and the legendary role in that of Neo. And like I said in the intro, some of the actors on this list that passed up playing Neo will shock you to the very core. But before we dive into see how far the rabbit hole goes, if this is your first time here, I would suggest if you select the like, the subscribe, and the notification bell. That little notification bell is actually the red pill. And indeed, I will show you how far the rabbit hole goes if you take that red pill, aka the notification button. Okay, so we all know the story of The Matrix. We've all seen the movie by now. If not, there's just no words. So the original Matrix came out in 1999, and for its time, no one has ever seen visual effects like that or fighting choreography / action sequences like that. I mean, this thing was ahead of its time. It was a unique film. And to encapsulate all of that, you need a main character, and well, we have one, and that of Neo. Of course, Neo is the savior. He's the protector for all mankind. He's the one that's going to save Zion from being destroyed by the machines. And you need a good actor to embody this special, unique character, right? And as it stands today, we can't see anyone else portraying that role in that of Keanu Reeves. But there was a time where there was no Reeves. This is a story of those times, I guess. So I wanted to do this episode because Matrix 4 is going to happen. And I just got really excited about that because the Matrix trilogy is just one of my favorite action movies / sci-fi movies to date. But there are some actors that said, nah, and let's talk about them, shall we? So we're going to start this off in no particular order. Now, the first person on this list is fairly recent. I mean, everyone knows that this actor said no to playing Neo, and that actor is Will Smith. So at the time that they were casting The Matrix, they approached Will Smith, they being the Wachowski brothers, or now the sisters, because they had a chain. Well, that's an episode for another day. So they met with Will Smith, and they had a little pitch meeting. And in that meeting, they were talking to Will about the movie, and they really only said one thing to him, which I understand why he said no. I think they said something like, you're going to be standing there, and there's like a bunch of cameras around you, and you're going to be dodging bullets. And I could just see Will Smith's face just staring blankly at them like, what? I mean, you have to admit, this is 1999. A unique, crazy film script like this was unheard of. So the legend goes, Will Smith said, no thank you, I'm going to move on to better things. And he actually chose Wild Wild West instead of The Matrix. You win some, you lose some, right, Will? Now, if Will did get cast, if he did say yes, I think he would have been fine. I mean, he is a fantastic actor. He's shown his dramatic chops in various movies. We've seen his acting skill, or his action skills, if you will. I think if he blends those two together and works really hard on that fight choreography and learning the wires and all that stuff, I think he would have made a really good Neo. So, to be honest, I'd be fine with it. So the next actor that passed up this role, he's a very eclectic. He's a very unique. He is a very strange individual. His name is Nicolas Cage. Now, Nicolas Cage did turn down this role for a logical reason, and I can't blame him for saying no. So The Matrix was set to film in Australia for multiple months. A film like that, it takes a long time to shoot, especially this movie, because they created a brand new camera style with all that motion camera that you saw with the bullet time, you know, him dodging the bullet. They created that effect. So Nicolas Cage didn't want to spend that long a time away from his family, so he decided to choose his family over a really important legendary movie. Whatever, family first. I'm just kidding. That was actually it. I applaud him for that. But if he did say yes, no, I cannot picture him as Neo at all. I love Nick Cage, but it's just him doing those fighting sequences. It's so funny to picture. You put the pill in the alphabetical order. That was a really bad impression of Nick Cage. Let's move on. So at this point, the studio has seen a lot of good actors at the time. They've seen a lot of no-name actors. And no luck, everyone said no. So what does the studio do? They decided to change the sex of Neo. So they're like, let's make Neo a female, and let's go after female actresses. That makes no sense. You know what I mean. A female is an actress, an actor. So who do they first reach out to? Well, there's only one logical choice if you're gonna choose a female to be Neo. That's right, America's sweetheart, Sandra Bullock. So at the time, Joel Silver was a producer, and he originally worked with Sandra Bullock on a great movie called Demolition Man. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Or go see it. Rent it. It's not even out in the theater, so what am I talking about? So they had a little pitch meeting as well, and they let her know, this is the script, this is who we want you to play. What do you think? And what do you think Miss Sandra Bullock said? No. From what I found at the time, the script wasn't something that, it just wasn't her cup of tea. It wasn't something that she was into at the time. I guess she doesn't like kung fu with her cup of tea. But still, that casting choice is interesting. Imagine her doing kung fu, like her fighting all those Agent Smiths. That's weird. I mean, the reason why I'm always talking about the kung fu is because any of these actors could do the acting part. But when it comes to the actual fighting, you gotta be able to do both, people. Come on. So then after Sandra Bullock and a bunch of other female actresses, I keep saying that. So after they all the actresses said no, they went back to changing Neo to a male, and they reached out to he was really up and coming. He had a good slow movies under his belt at the time, but he was young at the time, Brad Pitt. Now during this time, Brad Pitt came off of a movie called 7 Years in Tibet. If you haven't seen it, you're fine to not watch it. It was a pretty visual movie, but it was not a good movie. Anyway, 7 Years in Tibet literally took 7 years in Tibet to film. It was a very long shoot, and I think he came off of like back-to-back movies before doing 7 Years in Tibet. So by the time they pitched him the movie and the role and all that stuff, he was like, no, I'm ready. I need blacks. That's a bad. I can't even do Brad Pitt. That was horrible. He said no because he originally just needed a break. But Brad Pitt would have been a really good choice. We've seen him in action movies. We've seen him in drama. He's a great actor. I think he would have been fine. But then again, him being a hacker, he's a little too pretty to be a computer hacker. Unless there's a group out there that's like really attractive hackers. There's an idea for a Netflix original. So after Brad said no, they reached out to another young actor at the time, Leonardo DiCaprio. Now Leonardo was coming off of Titanic at that time. They pitched him the movie and he said yes. So they had a little meeting with him and they, this is the story, this is what we're thinking. And as Leo read the script and he was kind of understanding everything, he realized that this movie is very VFX heavy. And coming off of Titanic, that movie also was very VFX heavy, and he didn't want to continue the same type of movie that's so visual. He just wanted to do just straight up acting. Taking that red pill was the best decision I ever made. That was a Titanic reference. It would have been great. Oh, and look who decided to... My dog decided to join me in on this fun. You can probably see her tail. She could have played Morpheus. Oh, baby. Go down now. Come on. Go inside. Go lay down. Anyways, back to Leonardo DiCaprio. So I could not picture Leonardo at all doing this. He's a fantastic actor. He's one of our generation's like Marlon Brando. Like, he's a fantastic actor. He just, some people are born to do things and he is born to be an actor. But yet again, picture him doing kung fu. Yeah, right? Weird. Now for the sake of time, I'm just going to mention some of the other people that turned down the role of Neo and a brief little description of what I think of them playing this character. Let's do this. Johnny Depp. Way too quirky to be Neo. Come on. It's Johnny. Kevin Costner. Kevin is, he needs to stick to Dancing with Wolves. That's all. No to Kung Fu. No. Tom Cruise. He's too Tom Cruise to be in The Matrix. You know what that means. Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman is my favorite actor, but he's way too intense. He's way too good of an actor to be in that movie. Sam Jackson. Do I need to mention how many times they would have to bleep him in The Matrix? I mean, it was a PG-13. If he was Neo, it'd be a hard R. Val Kilmer. Let's just face it. Val would probably not come out of his trailer to even say, I know Kung Fu. He would just No, he would stay in his trailer and not do anything. And last but not least, Russell Crowe. He's way too grumpy to know Kung Fu. You can't be grumpy and no Kung Fu. Makes no sense, guys. But these are all the actors that passed on being the one, so they're pretty much at this point zeros. Just kidding. They all have amazing careers, and I'm sitting here doing this. But I just want to do a fun little episode on this. I thought it was fascinating, and just to get you guys excited and to let you know about The Matrix 4. Now, obviously, when things start to pour in about that movie, I will let you guys know. I'll do videos on that. But at this time, all we know is Matrix 4 is happening with the same cast. And guys, if you like this show, then please check out my social media accounts. I update them daily so that you know what's going on in entertainment news. Boop. But until next time, guys, can you just picture Johnny Depp as Neo? I mean, I picture just like Captain Jack Sparrow doing Kung Fu. That was Captain Jack Sparrow doing Kung Fu. Oh.